Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast. This, believe it or not, episode number 47. And we're just a part of the Podcast Playground Network. And of course, please, people, review, and those 5-star reviews help us to climb the podcast ladder.
I'm thinking we need to do some kind of a big party or big special or something for our 50th. I mean, that's a nice big round number. We should probably do something special. I don't know what, but we could do something special.
I'll be sober for it. No.
That would be special, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, that's fine. He'll be sober. So big week this week, folks. BJ Odom is going in for his his twice a year, 50,000 mile checkup. And what is it? You were texting me before that you might actually have to have some new hardware added to the system here, or
I've
what?
had some stents in the past,
right?
But I have not had any done probably in the last 2 or 3 years.
Right.
So I'm thinking it's probably time. But if they put a stent in, usually they keep me anyway overnight.
Right.
They want to monitor me,
of course,
overnight.
Now, this is a stent is that keeps the vessel open, right? It goes inside. It's like a little chicken wire kind of a thing that holds the blood vessel open.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen I've watched enough National Geographic specials or something like that. So you've already had that done, or you might have it done again. The story?
I've got a stent in my neck from my carotid artery.
Carotid artery, yeah. Why do I know these things better than you do? I don't know.
And I think I got 3 stents in my heart now. I'm not for sure.
Wow.
But one of the stents went flat or whatever, kind of got a flat tire in it. So they replaced that stent. So I don't know what the official count is.
The only thing keeping you going is like duct tape. I mean, basically duct tape and duct tape and chicken wire. Like I said, chicken wire. So last week we were talking about, I don't know how we got on the subject, but we were talking about how long you had your new heart, and it's like 20 some years. And you were wondering who's had the heart, a new heart or replacement heart, the longest transplanted heart. And I actually did a little Googling and I found a name, and it's a Canadian guy who's had a transplanted heart for 35 years. And I actually found him on Facebook, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head, so apologies in advance. But I found him on Facebook. I reached out to him and I said, hey, my partner and I have been in the radio business for years and years. We're doing a podcast. He had a transplant 20 years ago, and we were just talking about people who have had a transplant heart for a long time. And we found your name. And I thought maybe it might be cool if you might want to join us on our podcast, one of these episodes, to talk about it. And he was so nice. He got back to me and he said, sure, it'd be great to talk about, to raise the awareness and get the word out there for people of who have had a replacement. So on a soon to be BJ and Bill, the podcast, there will be 3 people and 2 of them will have brand new hearts. So,
wow. That'd be pretty cool talking to him.
That would be,
because he is like the record holder right now.
Right. It's literally more than 35 years he's had a transplanted heart, which, I mean, that goes back to 1990. I mean, that must have been super experimental surgery at the time.
Man, that'll be a fun conversation.
That will, for you.
Yeah.
For you. So yeah, we'll make some new friends, and maybe that'll be next week. I'm not sure about the scheduling. We're negotiating schedules, as it always happens. We're negotiating schedules at this point. So,
well, what the actors strike, probably he doesn't want to come
makes
on.
a big difference. So we'll have to, make it work. And he's in Canada. So I don't know if there's do we need a permit or something like that?
I don't know. We might have a visa.
A visa.
A Zoom visa.
I got a passport. My passport is up to date. I don't know about, so that'll be fine. It'll be good. So anyway, there's the story. That's what's going on behind the scenes here at the podcast, the BJ and Bill, the podcast. So there you go. Other than that, how's it going?
Speaking of wanting awareness for, the transplantation.
Yes.
America's Got Talent last week.
Right.
It was, and I have it on my personal Facebook page. Maybe I should find it and put it on the BJ and Bill podcast page. I think maybe I even did. I'm not for sure. But two women came out, and one was a mother who lost her child.
Mm-hmm.
The other was a mother of the child who got the transplant from the mother who lost their child.
From the child that was lost.
Right.
Right.
And I guess as he was taking his last breaths or whatever, and I forget the name of the song, but she sang a song. And what's really weird, after the boy got the they didn't even know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And after the son got the transplant, this woman sang the same song to her son after his transplant as he was laying there recovering.
Wow.
And somehow years later, they met.
Right.
And they learned this about each other, that, wow, you sang that song. I sang this song. And they sang the song together on American Idol. I'm not
Cool.
American Idol, but
America's
Got Talent.
Yeah.
And it brought the house down. Of course, everybody.
Of course.
And even BJ Odom was. My
lots
wife
of
was,
tears, of course.
And what really got a lot of people too, then she brought her son out after they sang the song.
So it was the two mothers who did the song.
Right. And they actually
awesome.
did a great job with it too.
Good.
So yes,
That's
they're
terrific.
moving on.
That is terrific. That's terrific. Yeah. Well, like you said, and you have said it in the past, and I have read about it many times, that you actually inherit, I guess would be a good word. You inherit some of the feelings, some of the vibe of the person that donated the organ or something like that.
I've heard all sorts of things, hobbies.
Yeah.
Food tastes.
I've heard that a lot. Yeah. Well, the heart actually has, and this is like some modern research that I don't know if it's a real thing. I mean, there's real science there. It's not just woo-woo stuff. It's not, you know me, I'm kind of into that spirituality thing and all of that, but this is real, that the heart actually has its own little package of basically brain cells. It's not like the stuff between your ears, but it has cells that kind of do a brain-like thinking function. So that's why when people say, hey, follow your heart, or when your heart tells you something, that's a real thing. That's not just like fairy tale. That's a real thing. So anyway, there you go.
Well, there's another part that kind of has a brain of its own too, but we'll leave that alone on this episode.
Yeah, that's not really safe for work. No, that's so many jokes that could be done with BJ Odom and his, following certain parts of his anatomy. But okay, good for you. Good for you.
Speaking of, well, not that really, but you've been dating this new lady friend.
Yes, I have.
And I listened back to last week's show.
Right.
On my way back to Fort Myers.
Right.
And because while you described the movie that you went and saw on your date,
right. Well,
I was trying to text our guest to let him know that we were ready for him.
Right.
So I was not 100%. Well, my brain's never 100% working.
No, your brain, no.
In the direction of the show sometimes.
Right.
But I missed a very critical, what do I want to call this? A help to Bill Stevens in his dating life.
Oh, so you were going to offer me some advice on my dating life? Is that what you're saying? I can't wait to hear that. Wow.
Okay. Now, first of all, I want to make sure that I'm not going in the wrong direction. Who picked the movie?
I did. I mean, we went to see, there's no secret. I mean, we went to see Mission Impossible, of course. I mean, that's pretty much, that was the big movie last weekend. So we went to see, but she didn't have to be talked into it. I said, should we go see Mission Impossible? And she said, oh yeah, that sounds great. So there you go. Does that help or not?
This is what I'm going to help you with.
All right, wait a minute. I'm reaching as the people can see on their screen. If you can't see, I am reaching for my pen and paper because I do not want to miss a word of this highly valuable advice. Go ahead.
And it is,
of course,
highly
valuable,
highly
valuable advice,
valuable information.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because this is a new relationship.
Pretty much.
You want it to go all in the right directions.
Yes, I do.
Should have been a chick flick.
I hear that. And probably good advice.
Not probably.
Not probably.
It is good advice.
Okay, so
speaking from a man with much experience,
been around the block so many times the tires are going bald, but yes,
a chick flick.
That's tough though. I mean, nowadays, and forget about. I have heard so many horrible things about the new Barbie movie that I forget it. I'm not going. That it's like that. It just spends 2 hours bashing men. That it's like bashing men for 2 hours straight. I'm not going.
That might have been a good movie to take her to.
Maybe, but
now I will tell you this.
No, wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me this.
Speaking of the Barbie movie,
yes,
I have not seen it.
No,
you have not seen it.
I will not see it.
My son's better half, I guess I could call her.
Yes,
has seen it.
Okay.
My daughter went and saw it with a bunch of her girlfriends, and of course, you know, Amy went before my daughter went.
Right.
And her words was woman empowerment. Woman empowerment.
I've heard that.
And so my daughter goes and comes back from the movie. And I said, well, how was the movie? I don't need no man.
Oh, see?
That's so maybe that wouldn't have been a good
right.
movie.
No, that would not have been a good movie to take.
Because maybe she would walk out going,
yeah, I don't need
no man.
I don't want to get off on a rant here, but I'm going to go for 30 seconds. And again, now I have not seen the movie, but I have watched and read several reviews that basically said every man in the movie is either an idiot or a jerk or, totally NPC, non-player. You know what that means? That's a game term. But anyway, is it either an idiot or a jerk or a nobody or a whatever? And it's like, okay, I don't mind if you want to make a movie to empower ladies. That sounds like a great idea. But you don't have to do it at the expense of the other half of human population. All right, there you go. Rant over. And actually, here, just to finish it, somebody said, you want the best woman empowerment movie ever made? And everybody goes, yes. Aliens.
I haven't seen that one, so I don't.
The original with Sigourney Weaver. Well, she was in most of them. But in the original, she's a little kind of a nerdy scientist who's afraid of, everything. And by the end of it, it takes her through the whole story that she becomes the badass at the end and the hero. And the guys aren't stupid. The guys aren't idiots. The guys aren't jerks. No, it's just that her story goes from mousy, afraid of her own shadow to badass at the end and handles it. And it's like, okay, that's a story. That's a good female empowerment story. Not you just to make the guys a jerk. So what? Okay. All right. I'm done ranting.
99.9% of us basically are, though.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't want to try and defend our brothers here, but yeah, I know it's tough out there, but God, this is reason number 75 or 76. I've stopped counting. Reason number, I don't know how many, that I am so glad I am not a young person, because it's tough out there and it's not going to get any easier anytime soon.
Okay. Well, just remember the next movie.
Yes.
Chick flick.
Chick flick.
Doesn't have to be the Barbie movie.
Okay.
But a chick flick. One other little note that I got, though, from the women that went and saw Barbie.
Yes.
Ryan Gosling.
Right. Yeah.
He's a hunk. He's beautiful.
But he was also the bad guy, wasn't he?
I don't know,
and maybe that's all the ladies noticed was his abs. I don't know, because he did work out like crazy to get in shape for the movie. I heard that, and good for you, Ryan. Great. I wish I had those abs too, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know. And I'm glad I don't know. There you go.
And another thing I'm tired of hearing about, so I shouldn't even say it.
Which is?
Jason Aldean in the video.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet either. I'm so out of touch with the society here. Have you seen it?
I went and watched the video personally.
Right.
I have heard the song without the video.
Right.
This is just my 2 cents worth.
Should we wait before you get into that? Should we tell a little bit about this, or do you think people know? It's this. What is it? It's Try That in a Small Town or something like that.
Try That in a Small Town.
And it's basically about how you couldn't get away with all of this quote unquote woke stuff in a small American town where people apparently have a lot more common sense.
But if you really listen to the song,
right,
you might hear that, you might not hear it.
Okay.
But when you watch the video, you kind of hear that more because you're watching video. And also what I heard is what is aggravating a lot of people and the reason why CMT pulled it. But the song is doing great as sales, and I think it's charting very well, and a lot of radio stations are playing it.
Good.
The downfall that I heard that really upset the minority population, it was filmed in South Carolina in front of a courthouse where a lot of lynching took place.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So the biggest controversy about the video, I feel, is that it's in front of this place,
right,
where lynchings took place.
It has a bad history.
Has a history.
Yeah, bad history. Yeah.
Yeah, bad history. So that
okay,
I understand, but I also think, and this is what I hate about this world, I hate it. Everything is political.
Yes.
And Jason Aldean, he's a very political person. Him and his wife both have made many political, comments and posts.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically it was a political stance.
Of course it was.
But the song, and I don't know who wrote it. Probably Jason Aldean didn't write it. He may have. I guess you could Google that real quick just to see. But the song itself, when you listen to it on the radio, sounds great.
Okay.
When you listen to the video, I guess a song can be interpreted.
Interpreted.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bill Stevens.
You're welcome.
In many different ways. And
sure.
By hearing the song, I don't get that interpretation.
Okay.
But when I watch the video, then I do.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't even have gotten the video that much, but it shows a lot of the rioting footage.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it shows, the background.
Right.
Basically, the background of the stage.
Right.
Is this place in South Carolina where all the lynching took place. So I don't know. Like I said, I think it's a little bit his fault for making it controversial. I don't think it needed to be.
Well,
but now it is.
Right. Right. But you and I both know from our days in radio that any publicity is good publicity. Right. I mean, and then you can spin it any way you want, but get noticed is the first job of anybody in the entertainment or media business. Get the attention first. Right.
The album is selling like hotcakes right now.
Good. Well, there you go. Get the attention first, and then we'll worry about the good, the bad, and the ugly later on. And if we have to talk about it, we will. And if we don't, we don't. So there you go. We always said that.
But like I said, my main thing, I'm just so sick and tired of everything being political.
Right.
And once again, when it goes against the grain of your political party, everybody's got a
oh yeah.
And all the people that are, in that political genre, yay, bye.
Right.
People that don't even like country music are probably going out and downloading that record.
Right.
Because now that it's political.
Right.
And people that love country music and are Jason Aldean fans now that probably are leaning the other way,
right?
I'm not going to listen to that. So, and it's all stupid, people. You're stupid. There, I said it. Now
you feel better?
Getting off.
Yes, your turn.
Now I'm done.
Okay. Are you
I'm
sure?
done with my rant. I guess.
Okay, you sure?
I guess my rant was a little longer than yours.
Final. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, I know that this whole country could benefit from just take a breath, just relax for 5 minutes and take a breath and recognize that you're going to have a different opinion of something than somebody else. And you don't have to agree. You just have to
accept
getting along. You just have to what?
Accept and get along, like you said.
Accept and get along. You don't now. Accept might be a hard word for somebody. You have to respect the fact if BJ Odom had a completely different, and I'm sure that over the 20 years Mr. Odom and I have been together, we have not agreed on everything, far from it, but we have enough respect for each other that it's like, okay, if that's what you like, or if that's important to you, but it's not to me, that's fine. Go, you be you. You do your thing. That's fine. But no, we're stuck now in this day and age and this particular time in this country right now. We're stuck on the fact that this is what the way I want it, and you got to do it the way I want it. And I'm sorry, that's not what America means to me. America, land of the free, home of the brave, all that stuff, So, okay, now we're really going off on the rant here, aren't we? It's just, oh man. What else you got? Come on, you got to have something funny here to lighten the load a little bit here.
It wasn't really funny, but it was fun.
I
got to spend a few days with my son.
I saw your posts at, what was it? What did you say?
I called it the Gentry Thomas Resort.
The Gentry Thomas Resort in Fort Myers, Florida. There were pool shots. There was, people floating in little pool rings and all kinds of stuff. It looked pretty fun to me.
Yeah, we were hanging out at his pool, and
there you go.
He was working because, we got there Thursday. He still had some work to do. And so
you just keep working, son. We'll be in the backyard enjoying your pool. Love that.
But we had a good time. We had a good visit.
Good.
And what I really like as a parent is that both my daughter, because my daughter I wanted to see my son, and I was planning to go up there probably in the next few weeks anyway.
Just to visit your son?
Yes. But my daughter comes to me and says, oh, in a couple of weeks, I got to go back to school.
Right.
And a lot of her friends that are in Fort Myers are also teachers or have been teachers.
Right.
And they're all going to be in town. She's got like a little group that they're kind of like, friends, they're like, the little group friends.
Sure.
They all kind of had Friday night available so that they could all get together.
Cool.
So my daughter wanted to definitely be there Friday night to go to the Barbie movie with her friends, because that was kind of the date that everybody could meet at the same time, same place.
Gotcha.
So she wanted to go. So she got to go to the movie, but also we were there for 2.5, 3 days. And I got to spend quality time with both of my children. That's
great. That's really great. Good for you, Grandpa.
Well, yeah, I am a grandpa too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
In fact, your grandson there, Mr. Gentry's son, he's in high school now, isn't he, or something like that?
He's out of high school.
Oh my gosh.
He's done a year of college, and now he's going to school to become a pilot.
A pilot? Like a commercial, like an airline pilot?
He wants to be a commercial pilot.
Wow.
Probably by August, he will have his pilot's license, which means he can go up by himself, rent a plane or own a plane.
Right.
And go up whenever he wants. But then he's got to get more hours actually before he can become what they call a commercial pilot.
Right.
And of course, there's another license also once you move up to jet.
Right.
So there's different stages of becoming a commercial pilot. And especially if you're going to work for one of the major airlines.
Yes. And is that his goal to be a major airline pilot? Well, that's
at the moment, cool. That is his goal. But I also told him, which I saw the report on television, there was a company down in Naples, and I don't remember the name of it. And I had to tell him I didn't remember the name of it. I just got to see it on the news. They have 4 of these little jet planes, basically now Shaq owns his own plane.
Right.
But he used to rent one.
Right.
When he would go off and do all these DJ shows, and
right.
Still doing all these DJ shows going around the world. But there's a company in Naples that has 4 jets, private jets like that.
Yes, please.
Rich people use to take places.
Yes, please.
And they kind of called it like a Airbnb with jet planes.
Ooh, I like that. And
I was telling him, hey, as soon as you get that license, it'd be good to, maybe go down there and knock around, see if you might get a job. Because I wouldn't doubt a lot of the people that were renting these jets,
right,
all were pilots. Some of them probably just wanted to, jet the way Shaq did,
maybe,
before he got his own plane.
Well, they have those ownership. You can own, it's almost like a timeshare for a jet. You can own a piece of a jet if you don't need it all the time, but you don't want to, fly out there with the civilians. Who wants to do that? If you want to have your own jet, but you don't want to pay for your own jet the whole time, you can have, they call it fractional ownership. Fractional ownership of a jet. And there's NetJet. There's a couple of companies that'll do that. And
I think that's what Shaq may have done, but Shaq
probably.
But Shaq does have, his logo, with the best with him up there.
I know.
Dunking the ball. That is on the plane, by the way. I think it's a shared venture.
You're talking to the guy who knows more about Shaq than Shaq knows about Shaq.
Now, so have you written a story about his?
I have written a story about the plane. I have absolutely.
Now, do you know then? Is it, he owns it with other people, I believe.
That I don't know, but you're right that he took, because as they pointed out in the original story, that when Michael Jordan owned his own plane, his logo was on the tail of the plane. So they took that, the Nike, the Air Jordan kind of him flying through the air kind of thing. So Shaq figured, well, if that's good enough for MJ, then it's good enough for me. So the him slamming the ball, the basketball, is on the tail of Shaq's plane. So yeah, it's kind of as we say, it's kind of a big deal. So yeah, that's cool. Well, when are we getting? We need to speak to your son to find when we can be expecting our ride on Shaq's private jet. That's what we need to do.
I don't think he's even taking the ride on Shaq's jet. All I do know, though, because now that it's summertime and basketball season is away from us,
right?
He's doing a lot of traveling. He's going to Europe. He's
doing his DJ Diesel thing.
He's doing his DJ Diesel stuff.
Yep,
and also. He just did a gig and then he did some vacation time at the same time in Hawaii. What a place to get a gig for a weekend.
Very nice. Very nice. There's nothing you can tell me about Shaq that I'm not going to say nothing. There's a 95% chance that whatever little trivia you tell me about Shaq, I will already know it, because
let me see if I can get you.
Can we let the secret out of the bag? If you go to shaqfoodradio.com, where we have a live music stream of Shaq's kind of music out there, that there's also a blog that is posted about Shaq and what Shaq is doing. And by golly, who would be writing that blog? Why, that would be me. For the past 5 years, I have cranked out stories about Shaq 3 times a week. So there you go.
All right. I'm going to give you a Shaq trivia question.
Oh boy.
The show Tanked?
Tanked. Yes.
Where they go and they build a beautiful aquarium for someone?
Yep.
How many tanked aquariums does Shaq have?
Wow, that's a good question. I guess it would depend on where, in what house, or I don't really know. So you would stump the band on that one for sure. You certainly.
Now, I might be wrong though, because the last time I went to his house, they were doing episode 2 of Shaq.
Okay.
And so maybe they've built more since then, but he's sold that house.
You're talking about the one in Orlando.
Yeah, he sold the house in Orlando. It used to be like a big diesel truck.
Yeah.
And that was the first tank. And then on the entryway, when you walked into his house, he built a big aquarium tank. And that's the one I kind of watched them build.
But again, that was the house in Orlando, and he sold that.
Yeah, and he sold that. Yes,
I would have paid money to take the tour of that house because it had water on both sides. It was on, it had the lake on one side, and it had lakes on both sides. It had a gigantic pool out in the back, and I would have paid money to see that. I really would have. So
all I know is the first time that I went.
Oh, you've been to that house?
I have been to that house.
Oh, you dog.
And this to me was a very funny story. First time I'd ever been there.
Yes.
I'm with my son, obviously. I just didn't show up, say, "Hey, how you doing?" I think you know my son. And I was there with his kids, which was funny because they were more excited to meet Cowboy from the Tanked series than they were to meet Shaq that day. But they have met Shaq many times prior.
Okay.
But we're all sitting because his main place to sit is like the kitchen. The chef is there making stuff for
the
people.
Chef, of course.
Everybody's just kind of lounging around.
Of
talking.
Course.
And all of a sudden, my granddaughter goes, "Hey, Grandpa, want to go look at the basketball court? I'll take you." And I go, "We can't just go walking around Shaq's house." And Shaq, of course, obviously hears that.
Yeah.
Pops his head up. "She knows where it is. Let her take you back there."
That's awesome. That is just awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So he's, I need to meet the guy. I do. I've written about him for years and years and years. So I do know a lot about him, and everything I read he seems like a pretty darn nice guy. So
both, the times I've met him, he's been really nice.
Right. Well, on best behavior meeting Gentry's, father. So there you go.
But
meeting the old man.
Okay. The first time I met him was really in the early days that my son worked for him.
Right. And
we both know people have air names like Bill Stevens.
That's right.
Well, that's right. My son's air
Bubba
name,
James.
or professional name, or what stage name, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Is really his middle name.
Right.
Gentry Thomas.
Yes.
So the entire time.
Clue. That's my middle name too. Not Thomas.
Oh.
Bill Stevens.
Bill Stevens.
Okay. There you go. Anyway, so Gentry Thomas. Yep.
So now, he kept calling me because he talk about Gentry, how great he was, and
yes,
how wonderful he was.
Yes.
He goes, "You've got a great son, Mr. Thomas."
Oh, that's pretty. Did you have to correct Shaq?
I did not.
You're not going to correct Shaq. Okay. Probably good advice.
If he knows a lot about music, I wonder if he was thinking, B.J. Thomas. This must be
B.J. Thomas,
famous country singer. B.J. I don't know if he thought that.
Raindrops keep falling on my head. Yeah, no, not at all.
But he kept calling me Mr. Thomas.
And he called you Mr. Thomas.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Thomas the whole time.
Cool. That's the coolest thing ever. All right, I love that. All right, we're more than halfway through, and we have gotten out of our political rants, and we're having some fun. So the show is back on track. But in the meantime, I need to refill my iced tea, and then I don't, go whatever you need to do, folks. Refill your coffee or whatever.
Let me give you a little glimpse of what's coming up.
A preview, a tease.
How about this for you people that want to get healthy? 10 healthy foods you can eat without gaining weight.
Is pizza one of them?
Let me see here.
Oh, you don't have to look. I already know the answer. It's the hilarious part of this, folks, is that he's actually looking as if it might be on the list. And I already know there's not a chance in hell.
Let's just say this, though.
Yes.
Some of the articles could be on a pizza, but I think once you put them on
you mean some of the good food stuffs?
Yeah, some of the good foods, you can find on a pizza.
We will all find out together after we take this quick break. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom or BJ Thomas. We're still trying to figure out the exact names. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast, and you may reach us by email at bjandbillpodcast@gmail.com, or do like most people and look us up on Facebook. Just do a search for our page by the same name, BJ and Bill Podcast. And of course, wherever you happen to download this podcast, be it Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere, please stop on by there and leave us a 5-star review, because we're coming for you, Joe Rogan. We're coming for you. Maybe in 100 years we'll catch up. Who knows? All right. What is this? You have a list of healthy foods.
Yeah, 10 healthy foods you can eat without gaining weight.
Without one of them, well, I don't know how healthy it is, but one of them is celery.
It's number one on the list, actually.
Look at me. Ding, 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 ding. Because I have heard this, and I don't know if it's true. I have heard that it takes more calories, it takes more energy to chew it and digest it than you get from it. That's how crazy that is. So anyway,
and this reads, indulge in these to your heart's content, along with a balanced diet. So I do want to get that out there.
Balanced diet.
You just don't eat these 10
okay.
These 10
yeah, because
things.
you'd starve to death. All right. So I've already given away number one. I'm very sorry that I stole the thunder, but let's see what else is on the list.
Now, I don't know if that's the list as far as 1 through 10, but it was number one on this list that I have.
Okay. What else?
Also, lettuce.
Lettuce. That's easy.
Now, this one is you could make it 11 out of this, because it's two things. It's broccoli and cauliflower.
Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely two different things, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm more of a cauliflower person myself.
I'm more of a broccoli person.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit. Love grapefruit. Yeah.
I used to love grapefruit, but I no more can have grapefruit.
No more. What is this? Like
grapefruit, but a lot of different medicines you take.
Right.
Grapefruit is a no-no. And I don't know what grapefruit is made of that causes this with so many medications.
Wait, stop right there. Stop right there, nature boy. It's not what grapefruit is made out of. It's what the medicines are made out of. That Mother Nature says, I don't think so. Yeah, no, actually, my former mother-in-law was very sensitive to that. She was on some medication, and she's, couldn't even sniff a grapefruit. I don't what is something. It was crazy. Whatever it was, she had to be careful with that. So anyway,
yeah.
My
wife still loves it. I don't think she has any medications that keeps her from it.
I haven't had it in a long time, but I do like it. So anyway,
I used to always put a little dash, which really, I don't think that's just the grapefruit itself is healthy without. You can eat as much as you want, but I'd always put a little dash of possibly sugar on top.
Right. I thought you were going to say a dash of vodka.
Never, I did that with orange juice a few times.
When I was in Fort Myers back in married days, when I lived in Fort Myers, I didn't have it, but my neighbor across the street had 3 or 4 grapefruit trees in his yard, and neither he nor his wife liked them. And I don't know why he had these trees and why he didn't cut them down, but they were beautiful, and they went crazy with grapefruit. So I would come home from the radio show, midday, and I would find grocery bags full of grapefruit on my front doorstep, and I'd just wave across the street, thank you, and I just would go crazy with them. And by the way, the other thing that you can do with grapefruit is you get your juicer, you turn them into grapefruit juice, and then you put them in ice cube trays, and then you freeze them, and then that goes on top of the vodka, young man. Oh, now yes.
I'm craving grapefruit, and I can't even eat them. Damn
it.
Yes.
All right, what else you got?
Another thing, berries.
Berries are awesome, especially.
And, it says here at the top, indulge in these to your heart's content.
They got a lot of sugar.
But I'm thinking that's got a lot of sugar in it.
A lot of sugar in them. Yeah.
But it's natural sugar. It's not like
We could spend 3 shows talking about diet stuff, and I have gone down the rabbit hole on this so deep that I'm not an expert, but I have watched a lot of videos from real doctors, not 16-year-olds on the internet who say they're an expert. Real doctors, real researchers, real whatever. And when it comes to that sugar is sugar. Your body doesn't Sugar is sugar is sugar. It doesn't matter if it's coming from an apple or a Coca-Cola.
Now, I will tell you this, though.
Try me.
I have type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
And now I try to stay away from sodas and candies and stuff like that.
Yes.
But it seems like, and if I will, like, because I'll take blueberries or strawberries or blackberries.
Right.
And heck, by the time I know it, I've had half the container.
Yes, they're awesome.
Now, this is all fresh. I'm not talking frozen.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But it will barely raise my sugar.
Okay. Good for you. I mean, and you of all people, I mean, you monitor that. You have a blood glucose monitor gizmo, do you?
Yes.
Because you have to keep track of that. Yeah.
Now there is a new watch out, and I got to talk to a doctor to see if they're worth it.
Right. A watch that will show blood glucose.
Yep.
I know that Apple, speaking of fruits, Apple, the computer company, is working on making one of their iWatches be able to read your blood glucose that way. But it's tough technology without actually taking a blood sample. It's doable, but it's probably a few years away still. When that happens, I will absolutely get one. I don't have an Apple Watch yet. That's the one Apple gizmo I don't have, but I will absolutely get one because I'm curious how that works. And I'd like to know my blood, but I don't really want to worry about taking.
There's also one that does blood pressure too, which I do not have.
Yeah.
Be curious how well that works too.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. Okay. So berries, what else you got for us? Anything else left on
another
the list?
Food that I love. My wife doesn't, but I do. Mushrooms.
I'm okay with mushrooms. Not just like I mean, I probably wouldn't eat them just as a regular thing, but if they're in something, like in a soup or in a gravy or something, I'm okay with that.
Now, a lot of times, like at a steakhouse, I will order a steak with mushrooms.
Yes.
And sometimes I just eat the mushrooms plain without putting them on the steak because they usually come in a little cup or saucer.
Right.
With your steak. And I'll just
right on the side, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now we're going to talk about another one of those, I guess it would be a fruit, but a fruit that messes like grapefruit, which messes with some medications. In fact, I have been told with my anti-rejection drugs, I should stay away from this. And I used to always love it before I was told to stay away from it.
Really?
Kiwi.
I'm not a big fan, but maybe it has the same thing that grapefruit. Well, one's a citrus. Is kiwi a citrus?
I don't know.
Alexa, is kiwi a citrus? Reference.com. Kiwi's not a citrus fruit.
I can't hear.
It's a berry. Kiwi is a berry. Alexa, stop.
Okay.
Kiwi is a berry? Huh. I didn't know that.
Another one. What's up, Doc?
What's up?
Carrots.
I just bought a monster bag of carrots at Sam's Club today during my grocery run. Thank you very much. And yes, I agree. Carrots they satisfy that need to crunch on something for me. I mean, they're not
like that too. Yeah.
Okay. They're not potato chips. I get it. They never will be, but crunch. They have crunch to them. You got to work on them a little bit. I kind of like that. I do. So yeah, I get it.
Now we have one more, but I do want to ask you a question.
I'm ready.
I know they got to be bad for you, but I've had them a few times. Talk about potato chips.
Yes.
They have those veggie chips.
Yes.
I know they're probably bad for you, but I've had a few. I think they kind of take away that crunch feeling.
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm just probably cheating as much as I do if I have a potato chip.
Probably because again, I'm not an expert and I don't play one on TV. So don't quote, don't go around quoting saying Bill Stevens said it was okay. But I think it's more than the stuff they're made out of. It's the oil they're fried in. And it's those vegetable oils and those, all of that. That stuff is That's not good. That's not good for you. Let's just put it right, put it out there that all of those oils, and you should know that, you and your heart doctor would probably agree on that. I would think they would. That's a good question. Did they give you any guidance on stay away from these foods or eat more of these foods
when you in the beginning to have a low fat,
well, yeah,
and low salt diet.
Really?
But now that my blood pressure's low,
yeah,
the same doctors,
some more salt.
The same doctors that have told me for the last 20 years,
right,
to have a low sodium diet, get some extra sodium in you. Just get more things with sodium.
Oh, right.
So I'm figuring ramen noodles and beef jerky is good for me now.
Well, as we always use, and thank God I am no longer. I think I tried eating vegan like for 6 months and it was miserable. But beer and French fries are vegan. So that just goes to show you that it's like, you can make anything work if you choose to. I don't know what to tell you about. I don't know. This whole, here we go again with, now we're going to go back on a rant. I can hear it coming. With this whole trust the science thing. Well, who's paying for the science? Who's making money on the fact that they're telling BJ to eat a low fat, low sodium? I don't know.
As we speak of that,
yes,
for a long time, eggs were bad.
Eggs were bad.
Eggs were good.
Yes.
And diet sodas, which I still think is bad for you.
Yes, it is.
But they were bad.
Yes.
And now they're saying if you're drinking which I don't, but I'll have a diet soda once in a while because of my diabetes.
Yeah.
But they say like now a Diet Coke a day, which I never have a Diet Coke a day, maybe once a week at the most. But they say now they've researched in the this fake sugar they have in there, the sweetener. You have to drink like 20 a day to worry about getting cancer. That's what they're saying this week anyway.
That's this. By the way, you've been watching me drink my little. Look at how that glass disappears.
Boy,
that is so cool. Look at that. When I hold it up to the camera, it disappears.
Bill's doing this new little technique on his Zoom.
On my Zoom,
he looks like he's in outer space, but he disappears once in a while.
Yeah,
his glass disappears.
It's a Zoom background. It's a Zoom automatic background, like a green screen, like when they do the weather on TV. But yeah, it's if I move my hand too fast, it disappears too because the camera.
I should set up my. That's a lot of work, though.
It's a lot of work
because
I was going to say you're watching me drink this soft drink, and this is iced tea that I made myself with real decaf tea bags and real plant-based stevia sweetener. So there you go. It's not bad for me.
Now stevia.
Uh-oh.
And I use stevia almost all the time when I use sweetener.
I do too.
But now it says it causes blood clots.
I don't believe it.
I've yet to get one.
I don't believe it. I'm sorry. There's so much crazy information about food out there. And when you just stop and look who's paying for the science, trust the science, as we've been saying for the past 3 years, trust the science. Okay. I trust the science. I want to know who's paying for the science.
Now, this is
when the world's biggest food companies are paying for the science. Okay. I know all
back again.
Yes.
My philosophy has been for a few years now, probably maybe 4, 5, 6 years.
Yes.
Here's the key word: moderation.
Okay. Okay. Although, there's no amount of liquid chlorine bleach that you can drink in moderation that's good for you. But,
well, that's not what I heard like a couple years ago when COVID was going around.
Right.
I was drinking that like sodas.
Put a little stevia in it. It's great.
Yeah. Sweeten it up a little bit. By the way,
moderation is
expressed on this program.
Yeah. By the way,
don't try this at home, folks.
Don't try this at home. These are not scientific experts in any stretch of the imagination. Do not try anything we say at any time, anywhere. Yeah. Okay. There. Now we've covered our base. Maybe we need to put a disclaimer at the beginning and end of every show. The opinions
These are two idiots who don't know anything.
The opinions expressed on this
Don't
program
listen to them at all.
are those of the idiots talking about them. And please don't sue us if something goes terribly wrong. Okay.
One more. On
One
the list,
more.
which is actually
Oh my gosh.
2.
I thought we were done with this. Okay.
No, we were at 9 with carrots. Now we move on to number 10, which again is 2.
Oh.
The first one I can handle. In fact, I've had a few salads in my lifetime that were spinach salads.
Spinach? Yes.
Now, this one I just can't eat no matter what. That's about like me and broccoli. Kale.
Oh, spinach and
Kale is meant to look somewhat as a garnish on your plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I know about kale.
Yeah. You know, and this, like I said, we've only got 10 minutes left in this hour. Thank God, because I could spend the next hour talking about green leafy vegetables and how they hate you. They don't want to be eaten. So they muck with your system. And people will argue that all day long, but you're wrong. Plants don't want to be eaten. If plants liked being eaten, there wouldn't be any of them around, would it? Plants don't want to be eaten. Unlike animals, which can run away when you try to eat them, plants can't run away. So plants do things in their chemical makeup to discourage people from eating them. So that's why your system reacts badly to certain plants when you eat them. See, there's more science here. There's so much science here that I don't want to get into. Please stop me now.
I'm still thinking the only plant that can bite you, though, is a Venus flytrap.
Flytrap, I understand. It's not about the biting. It's about animals will eat some plants and then they get sick to their stomach and then they decide, I'm not going to eat that plant anymore because they're smart. Unlike humans, which will continue to eat crap that disagrees with them because somebody told them, oh, green leafy vegetables are healthy. Not so much.
Okay, listen to this now. This is not a vegetable. We're going to do one more little diet tidbit for you.
Oh, my God.
Which I don't even know if this is a diet tidbit.
Somewhere the medical community is just crying in their beer right now, listening to us.
Now, it doesn't say what kind. Doesn't say green beans, black beans,
right?
Purple beans. But
Pinto beans.
Eating beans,
yes,
may be the reason why some people, and I wish I had the whole story because I don't. I have the headline. That's all I have.
Okay.
But eating beans may be the reason why some people live to 100. Mr. I want to have sex at 100. Eat beans.
I call BS on that. I do. I call BS on that. I'm sorry. I do. I just, where's the science? And is it not paid for by a bean company?
I read it on the internet. So damn it. It's true.
It must be true. I read it on the internet. It must be true. I get it. I am living to be 100 by eating steaks until I'm 100. If you want, you know what? Wait, if you want a plant-based meal, eat a steak because the cow has eaten all the plants and turned them into juicy ribeyes. That's all I need to know.
Now, I'm going to ask you this because, and this is a true story.
Okay.
So we were in a steakhouse.
Yes.
And this couple said, oh, we want our meat well done. We don't like when you see the red blood.
It's not blood.
On our plate.
Yeah. Go ahead. You were going to ask me if it's blood. Yeah.
The waiter come to say the red is not blood.
It's not blood.
Called it some other big long name, which he said it once. I'd never be able to remember it.
Yeah.
And he said he actually was a bodybuilder. And he eats all of his meat raw.
Wow.
Because that's when you get the most nutrition.
Wow.
And the best from the meat.
That's
raw.
That's probably true, but no, thank you. I mean, you could do it. I mean, I've seen those YouTube videos of, like you said, bodybuilders who will have a raw steak or something like that, but that's just no, thank you. And
like
I'll make the trade-off. What's that?
They like raw steaks and raw eggs.
I'll make the trade-off of cooking it just a little bit. I still want it red inside, and no, it's not blood. It is, there's no blood left in it at that point. So
like I said, it's called something, but I don't remember what it's called.
And we could look that up, but we only got 5 minutes, and I don't want to go down yet another rabbit hole. This has been a show full of rabbit holes, and we are just going to have to live with that. We did politics, we did wokeness, we did country music, we did food, all rabbit holes.
Oh, NASCAR.
What?
I forgot about NASCAR before the show because we're recording this because I have to go to Tampa tomorrow.
Right.
You have obligations in the morning.
Right.
Just before we came on, we had to, put it off for about a half hour.
Right.
Because the NASCAR race took quite a while.
Right.
Denny Hamlin won. People booed. It was good. I still like Denny Hamlin.
Why do people boo Denny Hamlin?
Well, they got close. That's what racing's about, bumping and grinding.
Yes, it is.
He bumped and grind, and people didn't like it.
Oh, he bumped somebody?
Yeah, he bumped somebody.
Okay.
Kyle Larson.
Okay.
But hey, it's racing, people.
It's racing.
That's what it's all about. If you're a true race fan.
Really?
I think so.
Okay. All right. And I don't know that. I mean,
because my heart was probably at 120 when I came in here. And now that the show's almost over, I probably have it down to my normal, like 92 or something like that. And I know that's not normal, people, but with a heart transplant, it is.
It's normal. It's normal for him.
They like it. They like to keep it in the 90s.
He's running a little hot. It's okay.
I was running hot before the show. But I like Denny Hamlin, so I was happy.
Okay, cool. Where was that race tonight? Do you remember?
Oh, why can't I remember it?
Alexa, where was tonight's NASCAR race?
Why can't I remember?
Pocono.
Yeah, Pocono.
High Point 400.
Yeah, it was a good race.
Pocono.
That's kind of it's a very unusual track too.
Yes.
It only has 3 corners instead of 4. It's more like a triangle. Still all left turns up.
Come back next week for more lessons in higher math and geometry, folks. Right here on BJ and Bill, the podcast.
I want you to watch next Sunday's race so you can tell me all the angles, because it is a road course. They'll be turning right. They'll be turning left. They'll be going up hills. They'll be going zigzagging through S curves. That's going to be a race. How the
HE double hockey sticks are NASCAR drivers going to turn right?
Oh, they've been doing it for years now. They call it road off. They call it road course.
Road course. And where's this one? Do you know? Next week?
Or
do I have to ask?
Charlotte,
you know who? Where?
I think it's in Charlotte. Road America, wherever Road America is.
Okay, that's fine.
And pretty soon, yes, maybe that's Road America. I can't remember. But they also, I don't think that's where it is though. But the Indianapolis 500, Indianapolis Motor Speedway also has a road course.
Oh, does it?
And so it's really cool because on Saturday, the Indy cars will race a road course. And then the very next day, in the same location, NASCAR races. So the two actually come together.
Is that they have a road course that goes through the infield there at Indy? Yeah, I think I've heard of that. That's cool. Very cool.
So they'll do Saturday. They'll do the Indy cars, and they'll do NASCAR.
Look at you!
Sunday. Of course, they do the Infinity race too.
Man, but you're into this. You're into this NASCAR stuff.
I can watch, and you can ask my wife. There's been days, especially Memorial Day.
Right.
I've watched races from 8:00 in the morning till 10:30 at night, and she's going, "My God, is there another race? Would you please turn it off?"
I have been known to watch like 3 football games back to back like that. Sunday. I mean, that's easy to do, and that's a regular Sunday for me. You got the 1:00 game, you got the 4:00 game, you got the 8:00 game on Sunday. No problem. Football from 1:00 in the afternoon till midnight. No problem.
How far are we away from football season?
Preseason starts in Hall of Fame game is September, right?
I don't know.
So. Alexa, when is the NFL Hall of Fame game this year? Jets and Browns.
What would you do without this lady?
Nothing. Yeah. Alexa, stop. August 30th. New York Jets, Cleveland Browns. Yeah. Live from
Canton, what? Ohio. And I know it's clickbait. Every once in a while I go to Google. I get Google, a lot of my news from Google.
Sure.
And I don't know, I think it's clickbait, but they're all there. Now there's these stories popping up, which basically click.
Oh yeah. Clickbait. You bet.
Just so you can click it.
Yep.
They're saying Brady's been talking to Tampa about coming back for another season. I'm going, no, he's not. Don't tease me. Don't make me read this story. And then I read the story and I go, why am I doing this? It says nothing.
Tampa Bay has their new quarterback. His name is Baker Mayfield from the Cleveland Browns.
How do you think he'll do?
Before they let him go. And then he had that one genius game with the LA Rams that everybody went, oh my God, this guy's amazing. And then he went back to his mediocre self. So how will he do? I don't know. He's like, who knows? He's one of those, he's like a mystery box. He's a mystery gift. He's like a box with a question mark on it. You don't know.
I love those.
Yeah. You don't know what you're going to get. All right, folks, you never know what you're going to get with the BJ and Bill podcast, but this one is rapidly coming to a close.
And before it does, let's just say Buc-ee's, because I think for the last 3 or 4 shows we've said Buc-ee's. So
let's talked about Buc-ee's.
Let's just end the show just saying there's a Buc-ee's out there on an interstate near you.
Send us a picture of you at Buc-ee's and put it on our Facebook page, and we will give it all kinds of love. Yes.
Go to our Facebook page and see if you can figure out. I don't know if you can post stuff on there.
Oh, I don't know that. You and I can, because we're like administrators or something, or maybe they've turned us off. I don't know. Maybe Jay won't let us post.
Go in there and see if you can figure that out. Then we'll get people that put posting on there. Look who died in an accident today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God. Stop. Just stop it right now. Maybe we don't want people posting on our Facebook page.
or else my lawyer told me to write this on Facebook because they're going to start charging me $4.99 a month if I don't.
Oh my God. There's just so much.
I opened up another can of worms.
Can of worms.
Got to go.
Stop it right now. Another rabbit hole. We're stop right now. Stop right now. Stop it. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Take a breath. Everybody, take a breath. Everybody, have a good week. And
get along.
Just get along. Just let's all get along and have fun.
Go out. If you're a Democrat, hug a Republican.
Hug a Republican. Or if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, hug a Democrat. It doesn't matter. Find somebody, give them a hug, and say, it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be all right. We're all going to make it. What is that? W-A?
I don't know, but then they'll probably punch you out.
Okay. WAG-B or something like that. It's that initial thing. I don't know what it is. We're all going to be okay, folks. You have a great week. We'll have a great week. We'll see you next week. But until then, it's just up to Mr. Odom to say,
see ya.